10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
Hello, and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Wack. Today is February 15th, and we're going to get started here with more news about the Starknet airdrop. So Angus gave some updates last night. Yeah, he gave a couple of updates, and it kind of ties in some of the information that we were already talking about yesterday, but he just gives a little bit more details on what's going on behind the scenes. So he says, hey everyone, as you may have heard, Starknet has an airdrop that includes Ethereum node operators and Ethereum development contributors. Here's what we know so far. He says, for our ETH holders, it's unlikely that you'll be included in this airdrop as it targets Ethereum node operators specifically, and there is no way for the protocol to be involved, but we are talking to Starknet to confirm this. Then he goes on to say, with node operators, you are eligible if you had a mini pool of validated pre-merge, so before September 15th, 2022. He says it's an issue because Starknet utilizes the withdrawal credential, which in our scenario is the mini pool smart contract that is incapable of signing messages. He goes on to say community members and the core team are working very closely with Starknet to resolve the issue and ensure that node operators can claim their airdrop. At this stage, it's very positive, and we hope to bring you more news soon. So the fact that it's very positive, I think, means that they're going to fix it. It's going to get done. He says for developers, if you have contributed to an Ethereum project on GitHub, you may be eligible for an airdrop. And then he says, to check your eligibility, use the Starknet provisions website. That's the link that we talked about yesterday. Angus, of course, gives a warning. Please be careful when checking eligibility using a non-trusted source. The provisions website does not need to connect to your wallet or for you to sign anything to check your eligibility. And then he goes on to say, please refrain from raising this topic in the Starknet Discord server. I assure you we are working closely with them and will provide more information as soon as it is available. Then he says, thank you. So people kind of seemed happy about that. And then he popped by like right away, I think a few minutes later, and gave some more information. He said, regarding the Starknet airdrop, we have noticed some inconsistencies with the mini pools and validators included in the drop. Starknet are aware. Rocket Pool community members and core team are working with Starknet to ensure eligible node operators are included. Bear with us and we will provide timely information here. Thanks, Rocket Pool. Now, what's really great about Rocket Pool node operators, of course, is that, we've got all their node addresses. We know what their withdrawal addresses are. So finding Rocket Pool node operators is a lot easier than finding like home solo stakers, because they kind of blend into the background in a way that the Rocket Pool node operators don't. Like there are a few different ways of finding Rocket Pool node operators that I think here the team and other community members like Langer's mentioned can help them with that. Now I know that Jasper's helping in some ways. I'm not sure exactly what he's doing, and I think I saw that Invis is helping as well. Now Invis, of course, is an expert at blockchain analysis, and he's like wicked smart with it. Like he was one of the people who actually helped Fizz in the beginning come up with the Prism supermajority list and find out which mega stakers were using Prism and kind of like set up that campaign to get them away from Prism. He was one of the people that was involved with that. So we've got great people on the job, and we are going to find a solution to this, right? So if you are worried about getting a Starknet airdrop, I don't think you should be worried. I think you should be fine. And now it's just a matter of waiting to see how it's all going to play out. And then Jasper here actually is like in full-on Rocket Pool like flag bearer mode, and he's like spinning up some like really great stuff on Twitter and like on social media. And here he said that if you staked 32 ETH, you would have gotten 1,800 Stark, which is what you get as a validator before the merge. He says if you launch 2 Rocket Pool mini pools instead, that would have cost you 32 ETH plus 3.2 ETH of RPL tokens. He says you would have gotten 3,600 Stark, and that would be worth around $6,000. So he says you get a 2 times boost on your Stark, which would cover most of the RPL that you would be getting. And then he says the Eigen update is still to come as well. So Jasper's like really saying that Rocket Pool node operators are the ones who are going to get great airdrops, and they're going to do really well with it. Now carrying on with that idea, there was actually like a little bit of a tease here as well. So David Hoffman, who is the host of Bankless, as you all know, replied by saying Eigen is going to be at the end, but a few more before then. So, the idea is that Eigenlayer airdrop will be happening in around Q2 of 2024, maybe late Q2. I'm not exactly sure when in Q2, but that's just kind of like speculation. It might even be Q3. But here, David Hoffman says that there's going to be a few more before then. So what does he mean by that? So this is what he went out to. He said, probably all major future layer 2 airdrops will include solo stakers and pool stakers moving forward. Likely the cutoff date also becomes more inclusive over time. So the first cutoff for Starknet, of course, was the merge. And I guess what David Hoffman is insinuating here is, it's more likely that maybe following ones will have Shanghai, withdrawals going live on mainnet as a cutoff point from when you'll get rewards, when you get airdrops. So that's just my speculation. Of course, we don't know for sure. So he says these are the ones that are going to potentially airdrop to solo stakers and rocket pool operators. So there's ZK Sync, and who are going to do their token for their layer 2. Tycho, who are using base rollups, they might do one. Scroll, of course, I've been saying there's no token for a long time, but they're definitely going to have a token. And Aztec as well. So these are possible tokens that will be available to rocket pool node operators. And it's likely David Hoffman thinks that these will be coming. Now, David Hoffman, of course, has an in with all the major teams in Ethereum, and he is actually like probably an investor or advisor to a bunch of these teams as well. So if David is saying this, then I think that adds a lot of more weight than what people think. And like on the Starknet episode that they had, one of the things that people asked, why are you giving it to stakers? And they were saying that these people run hardware, these people are passionate, these people know their way around, being a node operator. And when it comes time to people running the network for these layer 2s, then these are the people that we want to give tokens to. So they're in a position where they can validate for our network as well, because it'll be an easy add. So here, like, for example, this Smart Tech Vitalik person, had a post, like a reply to David saying, nah, that's not happening. Everyone should focus on their own users. And then David said, like, all these layer 2s will need validators for their network in the future. This was the explicit reason why Starknet dropped to solo stakers. This is see the interview on Bankless. So that's what I was just quoting to you all as well. And then Tycho replied with some eyes emoji saying that, yeah, basically, they're going to do this. If you want to airdrop farm, that's where you can go now to these places, right? Like, I don't know if the snapshots have happened already or not, but Tycho, Scroll, Aztec, if you want to build up some transactions on these layer 2s and these platforms, maybe you can even boost your node operator airdrop. But it looks like it's going to be airdrop season for solo stakers, rocket pool node operators, and that is, of course, a very exciting time for all of us. Okay, here we go back to another update from Nangas. So he says, hey everyone, the protocol development and funding RPIP, this is RPIP 37, has passed the PDAO vote. RPIP 37 determines the process around core protocol development and funding. It says, as a result, a PDAO expense of 49,420 0.55 RPL will be executed to cover a protocol development from 26th of October 2023 until 24th of October 2024. Yeah, I think I read the dates right because he wrote them in year, month, date format, and that kind of boggles my mind a little bit. Sorry. And it says, as a core team, we're excited for the future of Rocket Pool, and we give our full commitment to helping the protocol grow and innovate. We are proud to see the DAO maturing and are grateful to be serving such a vibrant and valuable community, Rocket Pool. So this was actually a really nice little update, and the vote went through. So let's go and have a look at the vote. So here is the vote right now. As you can see, this vote wasn't actually as one-sided as Rocket Pool votes tend to be. They had 62.3% people voting in favor of this vote. We had 29.6% people abstaining from voting, and we had 8% of people voting against this. So you can see here in the results, sorry, my face is blocking it. Let me see if I can change that. Yeah, you can see here that Valdorf voted to abstain, but he was leaning support. Joe, of course, he's a team member, so he voted to abstain as that is a conflict of interest. I voted for, of course. And then you can have a look over here. Object, who's been a missing person for a while, voted against without giving any reason why, but I'm sure that, he caught up on all the forum and stuff. Noshua, of course, voted against, and he did give a reason why. He says, for discussion and explanation, see the forum thread. And then there were a whole bunch of people abstaining. So, people with sizable vote power as well, like Invis with 120 votes, and a whole bunch of other people as well who abstained. So this vote, of course, like I said, was not completely one-sided, and you can read into that however you want. But this is now through, and now this is done. So that's really exciting. Congratulations to the team. They are now hired by the PDAO, and that's pretty cool. I think it's really nice that the balance is shifting, and the protocol is basically in the hands of the PDAO now. Okay, next we have this update from Art Democrat. So Art Democrat was catching something that I was talking about in yesterday's episode, which is the last update before the snapshot, and how they add some uncertainty to people, adding enough or not enough RPL to their validators to make it above 10%, so they can get the rewards. Now, one thing to mention is that in the Houston upgrade, there will be an update happening that will make the last update happen 24 hours before. So that will be a set thing going forwards. However, until then, Art Democrat here says, sorry for the ping. I wanted to share a heads up with the pull request where I've added details on the steps required to know precisely if a node operator will be above 10% collateralization ratio at the time when the rewards round begins. This is a very hot topic every time after rewards period starts or ends. So I was wondering if you could review it and pull a, if you have a second, so that I can call out on the show today. So he says he put in a few images. I refer to 4 images in the new text, which you can find below this message. Noshua and Halulilo kindly reviewed the text and mentioned it should be okay. So here, you go to the thread where, the Etherscan page, and then you look at more details, and then you can see the ratio there gets, encoded onto the blockchain. And then here we see that, there's a event bot as well, the command for the rocket from RocketWatch that tells you what the ratio has been locked in at. And then there's a pull request. So let's go have a look at the pull request. Here is the information. So the text will basically read, the rocket pool node status command will show you your current collateralization ratio, blah, 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 and then run the when command to find out how long you have. And then here you can check some contracts and stuff as well. So this is a whole new section on the website here that will then be merged and added to the website. So it's really cool that, Art Democrat is doing this. And this was then acknowledged by Nick. Let me just scroll down to find that message. So Nick, who of course is the front end developer for Rocket Pool, Nick said merged and pushed to production. Thank you. So that was actually a really nice update from Art Democrat and Nick here. Okay, next we have news of a new client update. Today's new client update is Besu, and Besu has version 24.1.2, and this is the version that will get Besu ready for Denkun. So here they say Besu is Denkun ready. This release is the minimum version that is required for the upcoming Ethereum mainnet Denkun upgrade on March 13th. You must upgrade to this version or greater before then, or your node will no longer follow the chain. This is also a required version for Besu nodes on Ethereum Classic. This release does not contain other fixes or improvements. We plan on releasing more fixes, improvements, and features in our next release. So even though this release has happened now, it is likely that you will not be, you'll have to update again before March 13th. So I guess, it might make sense to just wait for the new smart node stack that will come out. We're going to be getting a whole flurry of new client updates over the next month, just as people get ready for Denkun, and then they also start fixing bugs or anything that might get into those last few days as it comes up in testing. So that is definitely something that I'll let you all know about as we get more client updates coming through. Okay, next we had Val here ping Thomas, and he says, I'm just making sure that you're aware. So let's see what he's making Thomas sure that he's aware of. So Thomas here, he has a validator, of course, a node, and on that node he has 1,130 validators. Now Thomas's validator was basically down for nearly 2 weeks. So from basically from January 31st all the way through to yesterday, it was down. If you have a look at the last 2 weeks, like look, his graph is just showing that he was down the whole time, and Thomas's validator was down. So now it's back up, and his effectiveness rating has gone back up, but for a whole while there it was performing like suboptimally. If you have a look, with the rated on network here, you can see that Thomas, for the lifetime of his node, has missed 26 ETH of rewards here, and he has also missed his accrued penalties of over 50, nearly 53 ETH by this validator being offline at certain times. So Thomas, responded to Val's message saying, I thought I had notifications set up on that on that node, but I guess he missed it. And FNF had a funny comment. He says, once long ago this community came together to purchase a battery for Wax Smoke Alarm. Maybe we can dig down deep and get premium subscription to Beacon Chain for Thomas. And then Valdorf says, I literally just added one of Thomas's validators from each of his 3 nodes to my alerts, just so you can basically let him know when his validator is down. So here FNF says stronger together. So the thing is, like, Thomas going down is quite a big deal because he is such a big percent of Rocket Pool's node operators. Like the validators that he has makes up a sizable chunk of Rocket Pool, and for those to be down for a couple of weeks, that's not good. So Hodger here says, WTF Thomas, like that's serious downtime. And Thomas replied by saying, this is exactly how I set it up for myself, by having validators from each of his nodes on his Beacon Chain alert. He says, downtime looks like it started shortly after I switched to Besu. I don't know what happened exactly. Couldn't SSH into the computer at all. Just did a reboot and updated everything. I'll keep an eye on it. And then my guy responded by notifications. He says notifications on Beacon Chain was a bug in them a while ago, and for some reason, not sure if they've been fixed now. And then people asking about the different kind of setups he has, and whether or not he is, whether he's working or not. So yeah, that is definitely it's a hit. But Thomas, is back up and running, and I hope that it all goes smoothly for him with all that. Okay, finally, I'm going to end with a little bit of hype for Denver. So Denver, of course, it's happening in a matter of days now, and Ramana is coming to ETH Denver. This time it's his first ETH Denver. He says, is someone bringing an espresso machine to Denver? And Uphill Maxi says, you're asking the real questions. And then he said, you can just go to Starbucks like a normal person. And Ramana, I don't think, responded well to that. But he says, I just thought I'd mention it if someone wanted to make me something. And then Uphill Maxi said, maybe we can bring a Bialetti, which I guess like is a coffee maker, like a small portable coffee maker. So if people want coffee, and Ramana of course works as a barista in his part-time job, and then I think he's getting really good at making coffee now. So if you he might, if someone wants to bring it, then he'll make everyone coffee. So bring a Bialetti. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that badly, but if you bring it, then I'm sure Ramana will fill you up with a lot of coffee over those few days that we'll be in Denver. So on that note, I'm going to end today's episode. Thank you all for watching, listening, and being part of the Rocket Fuel community. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.